Hello, everyone. Welcome to Telling Tales. Welcome to Thursday nights. And that means one of two things, either Wicked Ones or The Big Wet. And you're here watching The Big Wet. If you manage to pass that through the title of the stream, schedule, the social media announcements, the events on Discord, and the fact that you can regulate the alternation of Thursdays. But in case none of those things are true, you're watching The Big Wet. Let's get all that pesky promo out of the way. Down below this stream window thing, you will find a number of links to Twitch and to YouTube. We're on both of those websites in the configuration you might expect for people streaming on Twitch. There's also links to our social media, to our Patreon, to our Discord, to our merch store, to many wonderful thing. In addition to that, we're also at the moment running a Kickstarter campaign for our first ever original TTRPG writing creation project. It's called The Soft. It's for the Troika indie system, and in it you can take part in adventures on a massive weird pillow fort existing in the cold indifference of space. If you're interested in that, then you know what? You can take a look at the link in chat, or barring that, you can just go to Kickstarter and search for The Soft TTRPG, and there you'll find us to do with what you will. Okay, I think that's most of the promo. Oh, no, it's not. We also do one-shots. Once a month we did Death in Space most recently. Next month we're doing Dune and more Troika using our setting. We run 3 series a week. Mondays is Warhammer. Wednesdays is currently Blade Runner. We started that yesterday and are having a very good time with it. And Thursdays is alternating between Wicked Ones and The Big Wet. And now we're done. Now our promo is done. And now I'm going to bring on the man, the myth, the Pierre. It's Pierre. Hi, Pierre.
Yeah, hello, Matt. I am, in fact, a mythical figure who exists purely in your mind.
I have no idea why my mind would have chosen to torment me so.
What a mean mind that is, that would do such a thing to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I've done the intros on these, I'm always the first person to talk about like his character and stuff. But what order do you want to do things? Do you want to do
I mean,
what do you want to do?
How about we just bring everyone on, and we will have a brief chat about the things that happened, but we'll keep it speedy. If you really want the details on what happened last week, go and watch last week.
Go and watch,
etc.
Yeah, cowards.
You absolute cowards. So basically, last week, the main event, I would say, is you guys wandering around the docks, variously getting involved or not involved in riots, having some disagreements. Fredo made a potential friend, but then turned out that the team wasn't willing to help out. So
whoa! Let's rewind that a bit. You're saying that like that was a surprise. Like I think I'd expressly said, I'm not going to do this. And then Fredo did it anyway.
And then Fredo explicitly promised Isaac's help. Not just did the thing, explicitly promised Isaac will do the thing.
I like how the drama continues, even in the recap, which the GM cannot get straight. But
I've been thinking of nothing else.
Just stewing up on that boat above us. I'm not even going to let Fredo back up.
Yeah, and in fact, Sam alludes to a very interesting event, which was that we got really wet. We went underwater. They found ultimately 3 dry suits and scuba equipment, and Hank, Alice, and Fredo went underwater while Isaac sat in the boat, hiding it away, staring at the minutes left on their oxygen tank on his little watch. They made great progress diving down through the many floors of Lustrum Tower, submerged, seeing all of the little creatures and such, and ultimately made it to the sub-basement 5, where they opened the vault within a vault and retrieved an ignition key for a helicopter. However, Hank was feeling a little bit funny, maybe it's just that everything is going really well, or maybe it's just a little bit of nitrogen poisoning. Who can say? But he did see a large shape moving in the darkness. And it turned out that that wasn't a figment of his imagination. It was a tiger shark. And that was where we left things. Perhaps each of you give like a sentence about your current, like your character's current feelings about the situation. We'll start with Isaac, about how you're feeling and what you're thinking about in general as you sit atop on the boat.
Isaac, and I want to make it clear that these are Isaac's feelings, not mine. I have not, in fact, stewed about anything since the last session.
Yes.
Isaac is feeling, obviously he's concerned. He's fairly cold and indifferent, but he's not a monster. He's concerned for the fate of his companions, with a certain amount of distance. And he is not feeling particularly optimistic about this incredibly ambitious dive, which we've established multiple times last week is literally impossible. But within the world of the game, clearly it's not. And he is basically just watching the oxygen run out. We'll probably give it a couple of minutes after that, just on the off chance, someone could hold their breath for two minutes. And is fully expecting for everyone to be dead and for him to leave. And that I'd just go back and say, clearly I can't do it on my own, but here are the codes if you want to send back a team of divers and do the thing. He got quite a lot of bullets from this expedition so far, so it's not a loss. I mean,
yeah,
it lost 3 people, but you
got a boat too.
And on that heartwarming note, let's see. What's Fredo thinking?
Fredo wants to get out of here as quickly as possible. Fredo does not like being a disproportionately large number of meters underwater.
Yeah, and I do appreciate the thematic. I cannot remember how to pronounce it again. You will have to tell me.
It's a blow high, and at least someone's making the effort.
Exactly. You are role-playing what will happen momentarily. Alice, how are you doing?
I mean, is there any explanation other than pretty much echoing Fredo's? I don't think there's I'm really happy down here and would plan on staying down a few hours longer than necessary.
Yeah.
No, I think equally urgent feeling now getting out. Maybe more urgent by shark.
You've seen sharks before. While you've been out fishing.
They don't tend to be friendly. They're not good news when you're underwater.
Yeah, typically not while diving though. And finally we come to Hank. Hank, how are you doing?
Hank is probably emotionally doing the best out of anyone, because from the sounds of it, he is completely out of it from nitrogen poisoning. I don't know whether that causes hallucinations, but maybe he sees the tiger shark as a tiger and a shark. So he's having a great time compared to everyone else from the sounds of it.
To be honest, I don't think a tiger would be that much better.
Well, it would be underwater because it can't breathe underwater. So if I was diving, I would rather encounter a tiger than a shark.
20 stories down. Oh, why is there a tiger down there? That's strange.
Wise words. Okay, so we will kick off. So right now, I'll describe what you see. So you reckon it's about 14-ish foot long. It's got like a broad flat head and a kind of short snout. You can't really see colors at the moment because I think you've got a headlamp and a torch. At this point you've just sort of caught a kind of glimpse of it, so it was just like mostly it's a dark outline. And it's got quite a sort of long, slender body. It doesn't immediately appear to be heading straight for you or anything like that. It was going across when you saw it. But yes, all 3 of you have seen it. Hank, I believe, was the first who was kind of freaked out by it on first inspection. What do you do, Hank?
What do I do when there's a big long shot? Well, I can't scream because I'll drown. But I imagine there might be some and bubble frantic breathing through the, it's not a breather, is it? I guess with a tank or everything, but through the breathing apparatus, and probably trying to keep my eye on the shark, but also hope. I can't remember whether I had the torch or the head torch.
I think you were the head torch, but
I can't keep my eye on it and also look around at the same time. Well, I couldn't do the hand torch either, I guess, but yeah, it's even more difficult because I can, So I'm keeping my eye on it and trying to signal the others.
Yeah,
without signaling the shark.
You sort of signal the others, and it's clear that they've now seen it. You're all three of you. I think probably Fredo is sort of next one out of the vault. I think Alice was picking up photos and diamonds and various other random knickknacks. So was probably going to be the last one to see anything. Fredo, what's your sort of reaction or approach to this situation?
I'm just going to kind of take command, I suppose, tap everyone on the shoulder and kind of give the universal symbol for let's go.
Okay. So at the moment, the shark is in between, like it is in the direction that you would intend to go, or like if you were retracing where you came, it is between you and that stairway. Alice, you've just been tapped on the shoulder by Fredo, and you've seen this shark briefly, although it sort of swam behind a pillar. What do you do?
I will pause and watch the shark. I will try and communicate my thought that we should just wait for a moment and see if it moves. Whether that's easily communicatable, I'm not sure. But I'll be like
it. Yeah. So you're like hold still or whatever. The shark kind of you're seeing it like passing pillars and going behind things. It's continuously moving. You, Alice, because you've been fishing before, probably are aware that it is circling you. It's not like it is definitely aware of your existence, or at least it seems like that's the way it's acting.
Is it circling us in a what is this? I want it to go away sort of way, or is it circling us in a this looks tasty sort of way? Could I make a roll for that?
I think you can, so long as you are willing to swim out a bit to get a better vantage on it. You can't remain inside of the thing and keep.
Yeah, I think I'll swim out a bit to do that. Yeah, that seems
okay. Yeah, make a brains roll.
Okay, cool. Can I use my specialty sailor?
Yeah.
That's my wet score. That's a 10, and my wet score is 10.
Your wet score is 10, so I believe
that is equal to or under, is it?
I believe that is a fail. Yeah, you basically swim out a little bit, but in the act of swimming out, you lost track of exactly where the shark is. So yeah, you sort of like couldn't get a read on its behavior. Hank, what do you do? Are you waiting, like Alice was sort of indicating, or are you what are you doing?
Panicking. That's the best thing to be doing.
Okay.
I'm obviously it's not, but I'm trying to play to the character that is not feeling great, and there's a shark. So yeah, I think panicking is maybe as Alice starts to swim away, Hank is probably maybe trying to reach the
go after, yeah, like don't leave me,
don't leave me, sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I can't see any bad consequences happening.
Okay, so Fredo, you see Hank kind of sort of swimming after Alice. They both have the light giving devices. You can see that Hank appears to be panicking. The shark is still circling, though you might get the impression that it is tightening the circle a little bit. What do you do?
I'm going to get my claw hammer out, or my ice pick, I should say, and
Brain
I suppose
Hank.
I'm going to, Hank's gone. I'm going to take his oxygen and live down here. No, I'm going to allow the other two to get a little bit further ahead with the lights, and just kind of use the fact that the shark's probably quite distracted by the lights to kind of put a little bit of distance between us, but not letting them get so far ahead that I'm doomed to shadowy death. But
sure.
Maybe passing just a little bit beyond the safety threshold.
Okay.
Already.
So it does look like the shark is circling, centered around the noise-making, bubble-making Hank and Alice light area.
Or as I like to call them, the bait.
Yeah. Alice, you lost track of it for a second. You feel something very large go quite fast past you, very, like, actually uncomfortably close. Hank, you see the shark. It wasn't going for a charge, but it was kind of like it was kind of sizing you guys up. It seems like.
Do I have time to try and whack it?
You don't. Hank does.
I will at that point definitely draw my little grapple anchor.
Flail at it there. I mean, you can't really whack underwater, can you? So much.
What are you? Yeah,
I think I had like a wrench. I didn't think I had anything sharp where you maybe go for a jab. So I mean, you can still jab it with a wrench, but
I think Hank, briefly, you have a really vivid hallucination of a harpoon gun that you left on a scavenger ship.
Oh yeah,
like a really it's almost like it's in the room, right with you. And then you're back down where you currently are.
With the blunt instrument underwater.
The blunt instrument underwater. Okay, you can try, but you don't get any advantage on swinging a wrench underwater at the thing moving quite quickly.
Okay, I'm guessing this would be is it a lungs, isn't it?
It's a lungs, yeah.
Okay, well that's okay because I failed.
Okay, you just don't manage to hit it. You're too slow. The shark, however, did react to you swinging that, and it kind of swims away a little bit, and it buys you a little bit of time. Fredo, you've been waiting and you've kind of seen this. What are you doing? Are you still biding your time? Are you still waiting for the right moment? Are you hoping that...
Yeah, I think Fredo's gone kind of full ninja mode now. I don't know, maybe also getting a little bit of a little bit more warm and comfortable with the whole situation than clear, lucid thought allows. And is still going to hang out just a little bit behind everyone else and just swim very deliberately and very quietly. Okay.
You guys swim a little bit further towards the stairway that you came from. Mm-hmm. Alice, I want you to make a nerves roll, please.
Sure. For what it's worth, I think I've got my grapple up, but I think I've probably actually deliberately got my torch, and I'm kind of intending to use that as more of a scare away thing than thinking it's dark down here. Maybe I even turn it off and just use Hank's light, and I'm ready to flash it aggressively in its eyes. To try
so you switch off your torch, you're holding your thing, and you're making a nerves roll. Basically, I'm seeing what your reaction time is.
I probably don't get any bonus for labor on that. That's not really reaction time.
I don't think so.
That is an 8, which is below my wet score.
Okay, let's do some combat. So it's going to try and strike at you. Let's roll and see what you get. Okay, that was nearly very, very bad for you, but it charges you, and but because the light is off, it seems to like misjudge the distance. It like sort of is going for Hank and sort of going for you, and so gets neither of you. It literally bumps into you, but does not, like, no teeth sink in. Fredo, I'm going to say that you, like, there is an opportunity when it is sort of swimming away from them, kind of like shaking its head, for you, like it swims somewhat close to you. What do you do?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and give it a nice pick to the brain.
Okay, roll your dice. Let me know if you think you have some sort of advantage or some such.
I don't think it's fair to claim an advantage here at all.
Sure.
Bank robbing does not involve bludgeoning sharks underwater. But I will. This is lungs, I think. Yeah.
Yep. It's a lungs roll.
There was that underwater bank run by sharks. Don't forget that one.
Yeah, the underwater bank, shark bank, run by children.
That's actually good. 25 out of 38.
Okay, and what were you trying to do? So you're trying
lodge
to, like,
a freaking ice pick in its brain.
Okay, so you swing the ice pick at it. So that's 28 is a ripped upper torso. So in a shark terms, I think that's you like swing the ice pick and it kind of strikes at like the gills and like tears along a little bit. And it like wasn't aware that you were there. Like it had been like paying attention to the other two, and it like thrashes around really badly. Can you make a lungs roll to see if you hold on to the pick? Because it, like, you know, you got a really good hit in, and it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, you just kind of like pull, and it like tears, and it shakes, and then like, and like the shaking, you hold on, and so it's like even more hurt. Hold on. So add wet equal to units die or tens die divided by 5. So that would be 10 die divided by 5 is 6. What was the roll? 35, was it?
Yeah, 32, sorry.
32. So higher is 6. So yeah, it's going to take 6 wet. Right.
There's something strange about the damage feature of a shark, which isn't a fish, but a fish-like creature. Getting wet as damage.
Yeah, I did give. I mean, given the fact that, yeah, maybe it's the dry score, but basically the way that this is working is like this is the amount that the shark wants to continue eating you. So it's not so much.
It's less the. Like us, it's like it's not only a physical wet, but also an emotional one. And what you're really doing is hurting the shark's feelings.
Hurting the shark's feelings, destroying its will to fight. So it like shakes off, and like the blood is like filling the water a little bit, and you can see like the blackened eye of it kind of grows wider, and as it pulls away. Hank and Alice, you both see sort of that kind of that take place. What are you going to do? What is your approach? Are you just going to...
I would like to try and push the thrashing Hank ahead of me towards the exit as quick as possible, and then turn to watch Fredo to make sure it doesn't eat him right now.
Yeah, because he doesn't have any
light.
Hank
doesn't need a lot of persuading to get towards the exit.
Yeah,
and I think seeing that the shark's currently bleeding and thrashing, and Hank maybe even thinks the shark is now dead, and let's get out of here.
That is a good point. I will turn the light down towards Fredo so Fredo can see what he's doing. Given I have
okay, so Alice is pushing Hank towards the exit as fast as she can, and like trying to shine a light on Fredo to give some sort of sign, to give some sort of visibility. Okay, can I just get like a general? Could I get I think a lungs roll from Hank to see how fast you go, and maybe it's a brains roll. I don't know, brains or nerves to like keep like basically you're trying to coordinate Alice as far as I can tell, and you're trying to like so brains maybe I think.
Well, I passed my lungs roll.
I passed my nerves roll.
Okay.
Brains or nerves, either way.
Yep. So so yeah, you manage to there's like a bunch of kind of weird like floating things, and you know, as you're pushing Hank along, you have to kind of keep maintaining the like angle of your torch so that Fredo can see where he's coming. In all of this, you've Hank, you make it to the stairway. Alice, in all of this, you have lost track of the shark. You are not sure where it is, but Fredo, actually, I guess I should ask Fredo, what are you doing? Are you trying to catch up to Alice? Are you staying in the shadows? Obviously, around you is kind of a cloud of misting red blood, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm at the disadvantage now. The trap was set and sprung, so I'm going to go towards the light.
Okay. So
I'm searching for the shark, assuming Fredo's coming for me. That's my top priority.
Yeah.
But might not have a chance.
So Alice, you're sort of searching for the shark. Like is Hank trying to like look around for the shark as well with the head torch, or
Hank is booking it.
Hank
He's just out of there.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so with a single torch, Alice,
I follow the trail of blood.
Follow the trail of blood.
Should be quite visible, I mean, you'd think.
Actually, are any of you injured in any way?
Nope.
That is good. That is no cuts.
Other than the wet, but I don't think I got hurt. Oh, I got my face scratched ages ago, but it was right at the beginning of the first session, so I don't think I wouldn't be bleeding anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so you, Alice, you are like quite close to the exit. Fredo is following behind, and you're kind of trying to make a trail, but also keep eyes on where the shark is. Fredo, you see like the shark coming behind Alice. What do you do? So it's like, yeah. What's your approach? So you go like this. You try.
I'm just kind of like, I don't know if you can see facial expressions, but it's absolute terror, and it's the symbol for turn around.
Well, I'm probably looking at Fredo, so I turn around.
Okay, you turn around. Alice, I want. Yeah, I think it's a nerves roll. I think it is just holding your nerve. Yeah, it's like being quick.
Makes sense. Come on, time for yes, a good roll. 35. I needed that.
Okay,
I think I passed that. You
turn around. In time, you see a shark coming straight for you. Its mouth, like it's like you can see the eyes kind of rolling back white and about to, you know, charge you.
Okay,
what do you do?
I'm gonna try and swim out of the way, but my main objective is to put the metal grappling anchor like at its mouth rather than myself, because I ain't gonna swim faster than a shark.
Okay, that is fair. So you're kind of trying to time it.
Yeah, so I'm trying to move myself and put that in the way.
Wait until it's like blinded, and then when it goes in for the.
Yeah, I'm obviously shining the light in his face as well because that's confusing.
Okay, yeah. Like I think that's probably also a nerves roll because you're trying to hold your nerve against like a thing that's about to bite you.
How many nerves rolls can I pass? Oh, no. Did not pass that one. It wasn't a wet. I just didn't pass.
Okay. So you try to like the shark comes at you. You try to like jam the what's it?
It's like a little grappling
hook.
Like one of the
you try and jam the grappling hook in its mouth. You do successfully jam the grappling hook in its mouth, but your hand like gets like sliced on the teeth, and you now are like your arm and hand is kind of bleeding badly, but it does have a grappling hook in its mouth right now.
I've let go of that.
You've let go of the grappling hook.
I mean, I am quite precious about it, but also my hand's been bit. There's no way I'm holding onto it in a shark mouth. No thanks.
Sure. Yeah, because basically the fact that it has a grappling hook in its mouth is what saved your hand.
Yeah, it's fine by me. I'd rather have a hand than a grappling.
You sort of tear your hand away from the shark. You are now bleeding and in quite a lot of pain. You make it to the stairway with Fredo short behind. So you guys
does that give me any wet, that bleeding, by the way?
Yes, it should.
I mean, should a shark attack give us all?
Yeah, we probably all got some wet, but I probably got more.
I imagine.
I don't know. We'll work out the psychological effect of the shark afterwards, because it's like that's like a more like long-term stress thing. Probably right now you're all in fight or flight, and I think Hank is also like, while being panicked, Hank is like slightly dealing with the unreality of the situation a little bit. Like you are in mortal danger, but you're not feeling the mortal danger as much as you should, maybe.
Yeah.
So but yes, you get. I think you get 2 wet.
Could be worse.
Yeah, it was actually cool. You rolled a 1 and a 2, so yeah, it's 2. Yes,
yeah, I'm
so,
getting out there as quick as I can now. Obviously,
cool. So Fredo, you can see the sort of trail of blood that Alice is leading towards the stairway. There are doors here that you could try and close, or you could just try and go up the stairway as quickly as possible, assuming that the shark can't really navigate these stairs particularly well. The stairs are like probably have a turning circle smaller than, you know, a shark, so it's unlikely that it could kind of follow you through the stairway.
Fredo's already done one clever thing with doors today, and is not going to press his luck. So he's just going to get up the stairs.
Okay.
I will hand my torch to Fredo and use my good hand to hold my not good hand to try and stop the bleeding while we swim back up.
Yeah. Yeah, and at this point, I think we will cut away to Isaac, who is on the surface, looking at your timer. You reckon they're about 3/4 of the way through the amount of oxygen that you're aware of, based on your initial estimate, maybe 2/3. As you're sort of you're kind of like hunkered down, kind of under Lustrum Tower a bit.
Yeah, the boat is like flush to the tower wall, right?
Well, yeah, you'd actually moved. So Lustrum Tower is kind of standing almost stilt-like on, you know, its surface, and you'd actually managed to sort of tuck yourself inside of like a kind of
underneath,
yeah,
like an empty room, sort of thing.
Yeah. And yeah, you can kind of see across the thing. You've been watching. There have been some scavengers kind of coming in on boats, going around, not like seeing you evidently. I'm going to say that because you have time to sort of, you know, be with your thoughts and sort of look around. At some point, you do see like something kind of catches your eye. Kind of, you're looking at the kind of the underside of the ceiling of it's kind of hard to describe it. You're underside of the ceiling of the floor that you're kind of under, right? Because you come in through the thing, and you're just looking around, and you see like reflecting off of the water, there's like a sort of weird, like you just see like a kind of shimmering that kind of doesn't really make very much sense, because it's kind of, the weather has been, you know, ordinarily you'd think that was like light or the sun or something, but it's clearly a different light source that's shining off the thing. Like you still have some time before you expect to see them back. What do you do?
Well, I would also like to ask another question that literally occurred to me as you were talking there.
Yep.
Could we get into the elevator shaft here?
Potentially, yeah, that might.
Right, I'm going to investigate this shining that I can see, with the awareness that with your reaction to what I just said there, the shining thing might be the doors to the elevator shaft glinting in the light. But yeah, I will. You know, I'm still keeping an eye on where they might come to the surface.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll row myself over to where the other light source or some such is.
Yeah, so you will see that there is, like in the wind, because there's kind of a wind blowing across the watery kind of trash-filled area that you currently are sort of paddling through. There's like a hanging kind of trapdoor, and it's got a piece of paper attached to it, and there appears to be a functioning electric light somewhere, like emanating light down onto the water. What do you do?
I'm going to get myself closer. I'm going to take a very good look at everything.
Yeah.
Before I like go looking at the paper or whatever, and specifically, I'm going to take a look around and see if I can see any kind of like jury-rigged traps around this. So do you need me to make a roll for that, or is it kind of just obvious?
Make a brains roll.
I will make a brains roll. I don't think I can claim any kind of medical thing for this one. My brains, weirdly, is my lowest, which is not what you want in a medical professional. But I do make it with 14.
Okay, you are very cautious and you take a look around. You don't see any like telltale wires or anything particularly attached to the trapdoor or anything. You do notice that the piece of paper has like a tiny speck of blood on it, but like, yeah, you don't like it's like a small amount of blood, nothing to be worried about. No. So yeah, I'm just going to say that yeah, you can't see any traps, and you're pretty confident that you've actually looked fairly thoroughly.
Okay.
If you approach the trapdoor, you can read what's on the paper.
Yes.
It says, "Remember to keep the door closed," and then it's got like a note in like red. That is like, Johnny, I said, remember to keep the fucking door closed.
That's some video game ass environmental storytelling there. I love it. Okay, where does the trapdoor seem to lead? Can I see from this?
Yeah, it leads to, there's like a lit room above. You could probably peek your head up into it if you want to, and if you do so, you will see that it's a relatively small room. It doesn't look super well maintained, but it gives you the vibe of a place that was set up definitely post-apocalypse. So it's like it's got a lot of markings of like people who have used this potentially as like a smuggling route or something.
Right.
You can see that there is like a small ladder in the corner of the room, and at the foot of the ladder there is a dead body.
Okay. Maybe Johnny. Isaac thinks, look, this is how Isaac is thinking. It's definitely safer for us to check out that room together. He thinks. And more to the point, if they ain't coming up, he ain't going in here anyway.
Sure.
So he will kind of nod, think,
yep,
this could be very useful, depending on where that ladder up there goes. And then he's going to hunker back down into the boat, paddle away from the trapdoor, so he's not near it, lurking near it. Basically, go back to his vantage point, double check his Casio, and wait and see if his companions have all been eaten by sharks. Hey, shark.
And we will rejoin the companions now. So
we've all been eaten by sharks.
Yeah, you are in 8 pieces. No, you've made it back up the stairs to the door where Fredo left, sort of across the stairway. Hank, you think that some idiot has left like a door across your path. Everything feels weird, and you're like kind of alternating between your heart racing really fast and like going really slow. Things feel strange. It's not like euphoria. It's really weird. What do you do, Hank?
This door is in my way, and I will move it.
Okay. Fredo, you see Hank kind of jostling with the door you set across the thing, kind of ineffectively. He's moving like weirdly as well. Like he's like seemingly quite sluggish, and yeah.
I think I will kind of pat him on the back and kind of give him a nice smile and lead him through the correct way out.
Okay.
I think with getting patted on the back in the sort of vague out of it, Hank he's going to flail a bit, and yeah, he's not going to go down without fighting. That's his point of view.
Okay, so Hank
I don't know how effective it will be. Again, you're underwater, so obviously you fight against the water, but yeah.
Alice, you obviously see this. You have your hand kind of injured. It's stinging pretty badly at this point. What do you do?
I think Fredo will have Hank out in a minute, so I'm going to kind of get to the exit to the building. But since I don't have a light, just wait for these two. My main thing is checking there's no creatures following us.
Do you not have a light? Did you?
No, I gave my light to Fredo.
Ah, yes,
because I was holding my hand basically. So I'm just going to linger near them, wait for them to deal with it, and keep an eye out for things maybe trying to kill us.
Yeah. Okay. Hank, I want you to roll. This is a very hard one. Maybe lungs. This is like how much you're breathing, how hardy you are.
It doesn't matter which you picked because I failed all of them.
Okay, impressive. You're feeling like actually pretty fucking rough. Like it's suddenly stopped being so fun. It's suddenly like it feels like your heart might be exploding. Yeah, like you're no longer really conscious of like that Fredo was attacking you or was a shark, but you are like, yeah, things feel really bad. What do you do?
So Fredo's in front of me, but all I see is something in front of me. I'm panicking. I feel like I'm going to die. It's probably that thing in front of me trying to kill me. So,
okay.
I mean, I don't know rules for PvP or anything, but
I don't think you, unless you're like actually swinging a wrench at him, I don't think you're likely to do any damage. So I don't think this would be proper PvP because you're not like, I don't think you're with it enough to be an effective threat.
Fighting.
You are like flailing around a bit. Okay, and Alice, you're kind of leaving the other two up to it.
If it seems like this is going on for more than 20 seconds, I will probably try and help Fredo subdue Hank so we can get him out and start heading up.
Okay, yeah. Can I get a brains roll from you, Alice, when you try to sort of come to help?
47. My brains is 44. It's not a labor thing could help, is it?
It's not a labor thing. So is it yours are labor and sailing, right?
Yeah, sailor's my 20, labor's my plus 10.
I've got ocean madness. That's a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, this is more of a sailing related thing than it is a labor related thing. But this is basically, are you aware of how like diving shit works and stuff like that?
I feel like I'd probably be able to make the case that I've dived more than everyone else. I think I said early on that I've definitely dived some. So it's up to you if you think that's fair.
No, I mean, the thing that it's hard because I have to tell you what the thing you're noticing is. So the thing that you are like noticing is that there seems to be some problem with the like the regulator on Hank's like something wrong with the scuba equipment in general.
Okay, so I do notice that.
Yes, and I think because you know a bit about sailing and you've been diving the most, I think you're likely to have have the wherewithal to be like, somebody's acting really weird, more weird than Hank normally does.
Gotcha. I will swim over to where Fredo can see me close to Hank, and I will point at my own regulator and then point to Hank.
Okay.
And then try and have a look if Hank is stationary enough to have a look.
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends. Hank, you can still see that there are people, and like you are like coming in and out. Do you resist Alice or Fredo coming towards you and maybe trying to mess with your regulator, or
I'm going to leave this up to the fates.
Yeah, this is a dice situation, isn't it?
This is a dice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what do you reckon, brain or nerves? It's going to be one of those two, isn't it?
Let's go with nerves, because maybe what this is like maintaining composure. You're like, wait a second, I'm underwater.
98.
98. All right. You guys flail around. So Hank is like trying to push you off, trying to get away.
I think especially if you start trying to mess with the thing that is his oxygen. That's his, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, can I have a check on like kind of internal clock? Are we like, we have to rush, we're going to die running out of air soon, or are we still safe? I mean, we might not know exactly, but a vague idea.
You have a little bit of margin.
Okay.
You don't have.
Hank is probably burning up in his panic as he's breathing more.
Might be burning through some of his margin. It might be like you felt like you went down with enough oxygen to go down and up and have a little bit of like wiggle room because you didn't think it was going to be smooth sailing.
We're still in the wiggle room time.
You're still in the wiggle room, but like.
Okay, well, I'm not concerned I'm going to die because I'm not going to save Hank if it means I ain't going to make it to the surface. So that's fine. I'll try and save Hank a bit more.
Okay.
I will gesture to Fredo, like, just try and hold him or wrap your arms around him, and I'll try and get this regulator. That's what I'm trying to do anyway.
Okay. I am going to give Hank a hug.
Okay. Aww. So are you sort of sneaking up behind him while he's like paying attention to Alice and trying to like grab his arms?
Yeah, I think that sounds the most reasonable.
Okay. I think that's a lungs roll, probably. It's kind of physical, kind of manhandling.
Not a good stat for me. 36, though. Is that good enough? My lungs is 38.
Okay. So you, like, after a few moments, you time it really well, and you, like, wrestle Hank. You know, you pin his arms. And even though Hank is a strong guy, he's currently panicking a bit and, like, less directed, and he wasn't expecting this. And so you sort of bear hug him from behind. Alice, you have like a moment in which you can kind of adjust the regulator, and you can. I think probably this is a situation where you like have to temporarily sort of swap the things. I'm gonna say that Hank, you get up. I don't think it's a roll. I think because Hank is subdued, you can actually do this. Hank, you have this thing torn out of your mouth, and then another thing placed in, and the oxygen gives you Alice, when you take in Hank's breather, you're like, this tastes weird. You know,
Hank's a smoker as well, so it probably tastes foul.
Yeah. Exactly. But it's not like depleted. It's just like, it's the wrong mixture. Hank, when you start breathing Alice's air, things start to become a lot clearer. Your heart like stops going all over the place.
Is this something I can fix, or do I have to now have Hank's?
It's the sort of thing that probably you're going to have to like periodically swap.
I see.
You're not likely to be able to fix it. Like the person who would probably be best placed to fix it would be Hank, who was the fixing guy.
Well, I'll give him my oxygen for a while and just say like point in the direction of going.
Yeah.
So Alice makes probably like roll my eyes.
Like
I'm trying to like yeah. I'm trying. So I have to stay next to Hank now, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
But as soon as he seems able to swim, I'm trying to coax him on while I still am fine. And I guess I'm going to gesture to Fredo and just be like to myself or something.
Yep.
Yeah. As I have the torch, I'll take the lead in getting us out and starting the ascent. The slow, careful ascent.
Yeah, the slow and careful ascent. And
with regular breaks.
Yeah. So Alice and Hank, you are like slowly ascending. At some point you notice that you're actually starting to feel weird as well, Alice. And like this is maybe eating into your margin of safety a little bit. What do you do?
How is Hank? We're swimming right next to each other. How is he moving?
Hank is swimming. He is swimming fine. It's slow, but like you're supposed to be going slow. He looks okay.
I think I will try and communicate and basically ask Hank. I'll be like, I'll try and like gesture to this and be like,
yeah,
this is bad. Are you okay, or do you need a bit longer? Effectively, but that might be difficult to communicate again.
Yeah, I mean there is still Fredo's oxygen tank.
Yeah, I know.
That sounds incredibly
one
difficult
of us having
to communicate.
Yeah, that does. Shall I make a brain to see if I can communicate? How are you doing? Do we want to swap again?
So Hank kind of makes you like an okay gesture.
Okay. I will push it for another 5 minutes and then offer to swap with Hank.
Okay. You guys make your steady ascent. Fredo, do you at any point offer your oxygen?
Has Fredo realized what's going on? I think is the question.
I think you.
And I think that's a roll.
Okay, if you think it's a roll, yep. Roll brains. I would tend to say you had, just because swapping rebreathes is a weird thing to be doing, but okay. You are like too distracted by the stress of looking out for the fucking shark and making sure everyone is ascending at the right speed that you're like, why are those guys, you know, messing around?
Fredo's absolutely going to keep us safe from the bends.
I was going to say,
nitrous poisoning is not on my list of priorities.
I would rather Fredo didn't have it anyway, because one of us shouldn't be poisoned to get to the surface at the very least. Otherwise, we'll all panic. So,
okay, now we will cut back to Isaac. So Isaac, the time on your thing is like running really close. It's like 5 minutes or so until they would just be dead, or 5 minutes until their oxygen would be out, maybe 8 minutes until there's no way that they could possibly survive. What are you doing? Like, are you just staring at the one spot? Are you like trying to look all around? How are you?
Isaac figures like if they're going to come to the surface, in like he can't look everywhere.
Yeah, he can't look.
So they're expecting him to be here. So if he goes and starts looking elsewhere and trying to get a different view, he's not going to be at the place where they surface, and they might be in a rough condition when they surface. So he is in fact maybe going to like move the boat out further a little bit back towards where they went under.
Okay,
but otherwise there's no prep to be made. He's just waiting to see if they're dead or not. That's basically
yeah. So he's okay. So Isaac is scanning primarily like the area where they went down, that side of the skyscraper. You make you make the you know, your way around there, 2 minutes, 1 minute, no more minutes. It's 2 minutes past when their oxygen should have run out that you see them bob up to the surface finally. Fredo is fine. Hank and Alice are really not fine. Hank specifically is the most not fine.
Okay,
am I fine enough to take out my thing so I can breathe air? And
yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
I can do that for me and Hank, at least.
Yeah. Hank is like barely conscious.
Sure. I'm going to row over to them and immediately start hauling Hank aboard.
Okay. Yeah, you can successfully haul Hank aboard. Alice, you can probably shakily sort of get on board, but you are like, given the jitters. And Fredo, yeah, you're fine. So maybe you stay in the water for a bit more, or yeah. Do you immediately
once the two casualties, I suppose, are on board, I'll just bring myself in as well.
Yeah. Okay. Isaac, what are you doing? I assume you're... Well, what are you doing?
Can I make... I mean, Matt knows that there's someone without a hyperbaric chamber can do about the bends pretty much.
Yeah.
I think. Like, I'm not sure there's anything particularly to be done.
Yeah. Although these... Yeah, you're not sure... Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to cure this stuff.
I think there are tablets that help.
Yeah. Maybe the anti-rad tablets that you have might work.
Yeah, sure. When in doubt, why not just iodine? Yeah.
Yeah. Iodine it. Protect yourself.
From everything. Yeah. Yeah, because the main problem is your brainstem absorbing nitrogen, right? Like that's the biggie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything to be done other than haul them aboard and hope they don't just die in a few minutes. But I'm happy to make a medical roll to see if I can help. I just don't know if I can.
Maybe the big thing will be just putting people in the right position and stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe.
And the rest of you, because it was, I'm going to say you will have gained an extra 3 wet for the remaining time. So you are soaked. And also the rain is pretty intense, but you are glad to be under at least some tarp.
I hate to ask, is there any additional wet for me and Hank for the lack of breathing?
I think for Hank there's an additional 2, and for you there's an additional 1.
You're only on 16 wet. It's all good.
Oh.
Did I lose any wet for being under shelter for most of that?
That is true. You were actually pretty thoroughly under shelter for 2 hours. Or like maybe an hour and a half. So what is that? If you get completely dry, you lose 3 wet per hour. So maybe it would have taken you like half an hour or something to dry off under the shelter.
Yeah. So I lose 3 wet, maybe.
Yeah, I think you can lose. I was going to say 4 wet because it's like an hour and a bit. Whatever.
I don't care about fragments.
Don't want your fragments of dryness.
Do you want me to play to make a medical?
I mean, if you want, like, I imagine that you you can make a brains roll to just see what you know.
Sure.
See if you know anything that is good or bad for people in Hank's condition.
Yeah, I get it. So am I'm going to assume I take my full EMT thing for this. I don't see why I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And that's a disastrous failure. So no, I don't know anything.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're not sure, but you reckon probably rest is the usual thing. Hank, you do sort of come back to like hazy consciousness at a certain point, and you start feeling a bit better. You're like, yeah, you're still foggy and like, oh God, what the hell was that?
Fredo was going to kind of collect himself and then just kind of quite dourly say, okay, look, I'm going to tell us what we should do next, and then you can tell me what you're going to do next. What we should do next is go back to the village, take a week off, and come back here when the trail's gone cold. So how about you tell me what we're going to do next?
Isaac, was this addressing Isaac?
It was addressing the group.
Okay, right. Okay. Isaac didn't know how
directed,
how snarky he had to be in his response. Isaac says, if that's the group decision, I'll go along with it. I have, however, discovered an alternate route into the tower. One that I cannot guarantee will be here in a week's time, or a day's time, or an hour's time.
I think from the ground, Hank goes, I can't guarantee I will be here in a week's time. He is feeling like death.
Isaac will nod and start to row the boat towards the trapdoor so they can get a look at it.
Cool.
Good job, Alice. You saved at least one life today.
Oh God, I feel like shit.
Did Alice get her hand looked at by Isaac?
I'll probably, maybe now I'll realize I'm like, yeah, fuck. Could you wrap this in something?
I'll take over.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, and I'm guessing this is. I think we agreed that my actual EMT stuff is nerves, right? Because it's less about thinking and more about.
I mean, this is right up EMT Street, isn't it? Someone.
Yeah,
it is
it's also
indeed right up EMT Street.
Yeah, roll for it.
That is absolutely a success.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you do a really good job of bandaging it, making it slightly waterproof, or permeable. I'm not exactly sure which way round you want it because I'm not an EMT, but you kind of treat it in a way that will maintain a bit of mobility in Alice's hand. And I don't know if you have any sort of painkillers or anything like that.
I'm not going to give. I'm not going to.
I wouldn't want
to give
for a scratch my hand.
I'm not going to give some morphine for that.
No.
Sure. Okay. So Alice is like,
I'm fine.
It hurts, but it's fine.
Yeah. Do I get any reduced wet because I got 2 wet for the injury? Does it reduce the wet, or is it not yet? It will be a future thing. I don't know how that works.
It's interesting.
You have to dry off to lose wet.
You have to dry off. No worries. Okay, don't worry about it. I will, while you're bandaging my hand up, I'll say, will I get a wicked scar?
Out of character note, who was the helicopter pilot?
I think we decided none of us.
We didn't settle this in the very first session. None of us can fly a helicopter.
Yeah, we none of us can fly it. It's gonna be entertaining. The final challenge where we'll just crash into the ocean.
Did we come to the conclusion that everyone had Googled it, or like found a book, or been told by someone?
I honestly can't remember.
I don't remember any solution to this problem.
I mean, I think from my perspective, there's good arguments for Hank, who is the most sort of technical, I guess, person.
I mean, he fixes like lawnmowers and stuff like that at the school. That's
yeah, but I mean, since then, like, I think you have good experience with like mechanisms. If you don't, if not you, then maybe Alice.
There's
possibly.
also some EMTs might be able to fly a helicopter as well.
Yeah,
I think I remember thinking about this between sessions and then not saying anything and forgetting. But I think Hank is actually a good pick narratively because I'm here because I'm a medic. Fredo is here because he breaks into places.
Mm-hmm.
Alice is here because
boat and diving.
Fishes? Like boats diving. Why is Hank here?
Mm-hmm.
Hank is
I don't mean that in a bad way.
That makes narrative sense. Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, Hank's had that all his life, Matt.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Hank has a hobbyist helicopter pilot before the apocalypse, so it doesn't feed into his background. That's why he wasn't a war vet. That would make more sense.
Just like so many people.
Yeah,
hobbyist helicopter pilot.
Just a bit into it. Just dabbled in helicopter piloting, Alice will definitely say wicked shark bite scar with a smile upon finding the hand will scar.
So you guys make it over to the trapdoor. I guess, do you all go up?
I ain't going first, but I'll put my thumbs up.
Isaac will definitely kind of describe what he saw first before anyone goes up, but he's happy to take the lead or not, because they all look like Fredo is obviously less worse, but they all look pretty,
Yeah, bedraggled.
Nitrogen narcosis. Now a heist. Like
yeah.
So
Yeah. I will definitely just follow someone's lead with 16 wet. I think I'm pretty glum.
Sure. I mean, I am the least wet, and I have not been on the dive. I will clamber up first while encouraging someone behind me to do what they can to secure the boat under this position.
Yeah, I will make sure to secure the boat. That's the thing that
that makes sense for Alice to do that.
Alice secures the boat.
I'll be last securing the boat.
And like Isaac, I guess, climbs up and kind of is helping people by sort of pulling them up through the trapdoor if they need it.
And while he does that, he's also going to maybe try and make another observation roll, just again to see if anything in here looks trapped or if there's anything weird to find.
Yeah.
So it's that. What's our looking for things roll that we do? Is that nerves?
Brains or nerves? I think brains probably, because nerves is often like reaction to holding your composure. Sure. Brains is more like.
Oh, I actually succeeded.
Okay. Yeah, so there's obviously the corpse at the bottom of the ladder. The blood is... you reckon this person was killed maybe like relatively recently? Like the blood is not like ancient and caked on. In the room, there are a few sort of assorted kind of boxes of boxes of things. In fact, if you're sort of studying it, you won't see any. There aren't any traps in this room. You can maybe, let's make a roll on finding things table. Damn it, I rolled the wrong dice. 5. Yes, so you find. Yeah, you find a life jacket. It's been tightened to better fit around a smaller, more petite individual. Yeah.
Well, Isaac is going to pick that up and drop it down into the boat.
Yeah.
Ain't no use up here, so
no. Yeah, and I guess also you kind of, there's like dirty kind of plates and things. Like this place is seemingly it's not like a place where people have been living. It's like a sort of maybe a place where people, you get the impression that this is a place where people might have waited for someone to come with something, taken deliveries or received cargo of some kind, and then like gone up the ladder, you would guess.
Yeah.
What killed him, Isaac?
What killed him? Do I need to?
What killed him? You can see that there's like blood on. There's like probably a trauma wound to the back of his head, and his throat's been cut.
Right. Well, that's very clear. I'll say, if the blunt force trauma didn't kill him, they slit his throat to make sure the job was finished. Do you want to search his body and I'll take a look up the ladder? Maybe. Or come down and found him here. Do you want to search the body? I'll look up the ladder.
Okay. I'll do that.
Give me a random roll between 0 and 100. Or maybe I'll do that if you want.
80.
80. Yeah, you find a revolver. A really high caliber revolver with a slightly elongated barrel. And how many rounds are there? 3 rounds in the chamber.
So let's take a moment. Who's armed? So Isaac, I think you have a rifle. I had a rifle.
Oh no, I don't think so. Does Isaac definitely doesn't have a gun. Oh
You
no,
had
yeah,
my
he does have
hunting
an
rifle.
assault rifle.
We all got
No,
guns.
he's got an assault rifle. Oh, he picked it up. Did he pick it up from the room where we unsuccessfully tried to beat someone to death over the course of an hour?
Hey,
he's got an assault rifle.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I've got a gun. I got a roll.
Yeah, Hank has his hunting rifle.
I don't know if it's got any ammo. The assault rifle, though. I don't know.
But bullets are multi-functional, right?
Yeah, I think bullets are
individual kinds of bullets.
Vague.
Yeah. Sure.
In real life, the bullets are not
obviously not in real life. Yeah.
I mean, it would also be stretching the realms if we said, let's take these 3 bullets out of a revolver and put them in an assault rifle.
Yeah. And they go into your pool and then mingle.
Yeah. I think the way I'll rule it is like, if you have a lot of bullets, you can plausibly have some of them be assault rifle bullets. If you only have a few bullets, you have to start keeping track of like
bullets. The currency. Yes, sorry, I completely blanked on that. Yeah, I guess I could imagine that it's got like a magazine and I can put stuff in the magazine and whatever. I don't care. I can hear Alex rolling over in his grave, but we don't need to care about how the guns.
His grave.
Apparently, Alex,
what did you do to him, Matt?
This is how we're announcing this.
Oh, I told you, like Blade Runner ended real bad. You investigate up the top of the ladder. You can't see anyone around. You don't see any other corpses. There's at the top of the ladder, there's like a bit of blood on the like the edge, like one of the edges of the entrance. But yeah, you there's just like another room that seems like has some kind of this one looks a bit more kind of chaotic than the last, kind of bits of debris and like bits of skyscraper kind of damage. This kind of feels less like it's more like a room that you could go through as opposed to sure.
It has a
2 questions. Sorry, how many? You may have been about to say how many exits there were from it, but also with my kind of judgment of things, does this feel like it's the floor of the market?
Yes, this would be. The floor below would also be the floor of the the market is like the market it extends sort of 5 stories or so. So like the last floor was the sort of floor of the kind of dock low area. This floor would be more the market proper kind of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, as you can imagine, that the market is like, you know, where there's been holes. It was originally several floors, but like some of them have been knocked together. So, but this is like,
sure.
Yep.
Okay. Well, exits.
Yeah, there are 2 exits to this room. One that you can sort of from the ladder you can kind of see through. It appears to go into another room with a stairway in it. And the other door you can't see currently. Like you can see the door, but you can't see where it goes particularly.
Well, then Isaac will wait for the others to come up and indicate that he thinks the one with the stairwell is probably a good idea because we need to go up. But you know, he will hand some of the decision making over to these folks as well.
Okay. So I guess how do you respond? I guess broadly what I want to know is like what your kind of overall strategy for moving up through this building is going to be. Are you taking a rest? Are you pushing on as quickly as you can? What sort of approach are you taking?
I think I had the impression we kind of had a bit of a rest in the boat, so Alice would be inclined to move on now. Although, that said, I'm not in a state to be leading, so I will probably not make any decisions and just follow folks.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Hank's starting to think he's sick of this tower. So So yeah, stairs. Up, let's go. Let's.
Okay. And Fredo?
Fredo was very nervous about going up a building using stairs, but I think he's kind of out of options. We've got a good mental map now of kind of the markets, the accommodation, the fire hose gang, and the prison. I think is the way things look, isn't it? So I
I'm
think
not sure what you mean by the prison, but yeah,
the kind of penthouse zone where people are kind of the forgotten.
Oh yeah,
floors.
where the exiles end up. Yeah.
So I think Fredo will, as we're going up, kind of proffer quite quietly that we should maybe take a break or take a different tack once we get about, I don't know, 20 floors up in the fire hose gang level. They seem pretty disorganized. There weren't many of them. Could move to a different stair core. Might be a good idea.
Isaac will start basically vibrating at the notion of taking a break.
And how are you guys resolving this? You're just... Isaac is annoyed at it.
I'm waiting
Alice...
to see what happens.
Okay.
Oh, Isaac isn't saying anything yet. He's waiting for what the others say, whether they also think we should just hang out here for a while, take a breather while we're being hunted.
Not now. I'm already in favour of just going for it. I want to get to the end of this.
Yeah, Hank just... Yeah, again, let's power through.
All right. So if the general... I think that probably means that the general approach of the group is to kind of to go through relatively quickly, which means that you're not sort of searching every room. You're not trying to like... You're being careful, but you're not being like, you're going for speed.
Cautious, but we're not like scavenging. We're not like,
you're not like trying to pick up everything.
I think we all agree on that. Yeah,
sure. Okay. So you make it up. You kind of navigate through this area, which the more you sort of think about it, the more you're like, yeah, this is like a side gig that potentially the fire hose gang was involved in, or potentially a competing gang or something like that. Like someone who's trying to bypass the standard methods of trade. Maybe the taxes imposed by the fire hose gang are kind of too high or something like that. So there seem to be all sorts of kind of random kind of side areas. It's not huge. You eventually make your way out of this. It does, however, take you a couple of floors before it sort of runs out of vertical distance that you can travel in this area. It sort of runs out a couple of floors into fire hose gang territory. You come to like a doorway that from one side, looks like a doorway, but when you're kind of opening it, like the other side appears to be very kind of like camouflage, basically. Like it looks like rubble. It looks like a blocked way. Like as you push it aside, a bunch of like things move out of the way, and it's clear that this is like a hidden entrance. So you're now in the sort of fire hose gang general territory. You can hear a sort of the general sound of occasionally like people running, sometimes like distant shouts. What do you do?
It would be too much good fortune to assume they're still distracted by whatever's going on downstairs.
Anyway. Is this what you say to the others?
Yeah.
Either that or whatever is going on downstairs is extended upwards. We're either lucky or unlucky.
As Isaac says that, you like there's an increased shouting, and you see a soldier like running across. Like you see like it's a corridor perpendicular to where you are. A soldier runs full pelt, and like he's like turning, looking back. You hear a shot, and then shortly after, like actually a crowd of people is like running after him. Those people do not look like they're members of the fire hose gang.
We should move upwards as fast as humanly possible.
I agree. I'd love to find that lift shaft again, but we don't have the time or luxury of choice.
Just stairs.
Is
They're
everyone
not
okay?
going to care about us right now.
Yes, because we think these corner stairs go all the way up as well, right? So,
sure, yeah.
Well, we're at the top now, aren't we?
Find some more stairs, some new stairs.
You're at the moment,
we're as far as those stairs will take us, I think. I'm guessing
so
something blocking it all. Yeah.
You're technically floor 38. You need to kind of explore this area, but like I'm going to sort of say, basically, I want your general approach to going through this. I'm not going to like carefully simulate the each room. So I like what's are you trying to? So you've just seen some people run past, and like maybe a fire hose soldier getting attacked by those people shortly after. What's your approach? Are you trying to blend in with the crowd? Are you trying to remain totally out of sight? Are you trying to just go as fucking fast as you can?
It sounds like fast as possible was the choice.
I think as fast as we can, find another way up.
It's already chaos here.
And if we encounter more of the rioters or the people who are clearly trying to take out the fire hose gang, we don't look like the fire hose gang, so just blend in with them, and if necessary, you know, we can kind of divert them to like, we could try and weave some charisma magic and do some kind of thing. But yeah, I just think speed, get ahead of this surge of people up the tower, because presumably the fire hose gang will be coming down to meet them. They're all there, and we can
bypass the section. You managed to find a few other stairways that continue to go up. You make your way through. You see at various points, you know, members of the fire hose gang sort of lying dead on the floor. At a certain point, you start hearing like a burst of like semi-automatic fire, which is a very rare sound to hear because of how precious bullets are in general. Like somebody is like, spending quite a lot. And possibly in a very serious situation. At some point you round a corner and you see a group of possibly civilians holding machetes. What do you do? They look up from where they were, and they like clock you, and they kind of freeze.
Sorry, I just want to be clear what we can hear. Sorry, now I'm going to be gun nerdy. Do you mean fully automatic fire?
No, I mean like several bursts of several bursts.
You can't have bursts of semi-automatic fire.
Okay. Okay.
Semi-automatic. Sorry, I'm just going to be in here, right? So technically speaking, a revolver is semi-automatic,
right?
Because you pull the trigger and then it moves the next bullet into the rat, and then you pull. Like semi-automatic fire requires the trigger to be pulled for every.
Yeah.
Sure.
There's the burst fire, which some guns can do, where they fire a burst of rounds per trigger pull, which would be something in assault.
You hear a significant amount of bullets in quick succession. Fired in a manner that may be automatic.
These people look like they're riled up getting the fire hose gang sort of civilians. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm really tempted to take the leap and just yell down with a fire hose gang. I mean, that's not going to go that badly.
I mean, we've got guns, so we can yell that, and if they come at us, fuck it, they'll see some semi-automatic fire.
I think I'll yell that. That seems
so you yell down with the fire hose gang, and like the guy after a brief pause is like, "Fuck yeah!" And like,
I like that. Down with the fire hose gang. Fuck yeah!
They sort of see that you're not like intending to stop them, so you can continue upwards. Can I get a general roll of brains, please?
From all of us.
From everyone.
Who's taking the lead? Who's like directing things mostly? Who's got the best mental model?
I think I need to be going ahead here because like everyone else has been. I think Isaac in a way needs to look after the other two who are probably still a little bit flaky.
I'd say that sounds fair. Yeah.
Sure.
While this is going on as well, Pierre, can I be searching for just a melee weapon I can pick up? Because I abandoned my
absolutely.
shark's mouth.
Yeah, that is true.
Just running by pickups sort of thing.
Okay, so you pick up like a I guess a metal pole or some such thing, something that maybe somebody actually dropped was a makeshift weapon. And Fredo, you fail your brains roll, so it's going to be you actually feel like you were pretty much out of the fire hose gang territory as far as you're like aware of it. When you come to a kind of it's the 5-star hotel area, and you see it's like one of these big open plan penthouse kind of not penthouse, it's like a just a really large wide open area. You with like various it's one of these huge sort of pillared rooms. There's a bed, but it's like all open plan, and as you get there you see that there is a squad of 3 fire hose gang members sort of emerging out of one of the rooms, and one of them spots you. What do you do?
Dive for cover.
Okay. You dive for cover. You guys see Fredo dive for cover. What do you do? You guys also kind of, as you see Fredo, like you're aware of the fact that there's like soldiers with guns emerging out of a sort of side room.
How long ago did we pass the other rioters?
I'm going to say about half an hour.
Oh Christ! Okay, never mind then. Sorry, lay out the like are we
so
room
they
or a
are
corridor?
So it's like a large 5-star sort of
suite sort of thing.
Yeah, suite.
Right.
But like imagine all of the walls apart from like to the bathroom have kind of been knocked out. So there's like a bunch of different ways into this area. It's very like there's kind of decadent animal prints up on the wall. It's yeah, like a lot of kind of glass and fancy things, but there is, I guess, are you looking for like cover? Is that what you're kind of
yeah, like can I duck? Would I have, via the magic of imagination, would I have perhaps say an ensuite bathroom or a former ensuite bathroom I could quickly duck into and kind of like ready my assault rifle?
Yeah, yep, and that would probably provide you with like actual hard cover against these kinds of things. Hank and Alice, what's your approach? Are you following Isaac into the ensuite?
Are we like in the middle of the open when we spot this, or are we just coming into a room?
You were moving through this room. You're kind of a quarter of the way in when they came out of a separate entrance to this place. It looked like they weren't like expecting you. They were like,
have they seen us then? As we,
yes. What's your immediate reaction?
It's kind of a toss-up between backing out the room or following Isaac or Fredo. Like, how far? You said we're a third of the way into the room. How far back is the entrance?
So I'd say about like 3 meters back, or
okay. I think I'll back up to that. That sounds fair. Like behind the doorway in is a good bit of cover, so I'll back up, assuming I could maybe still see them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, only if you're picking out, but yeah.
Is going to not immediately point the rifle at him and sort of put his hand up like, whoa, 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 whoa. We're just trying to get out of all the craziness going on downstairs. It's mad down there.
One of the guys goes, "Yep, absolutely," and he then raises his rifle. Can I have some initiative? Who was pointing their gun at the like, was anyone pointing their gun at these people?
No, I feel like Isaac was prioritizing ducking into cover more and like readying his rifle and seeing what happened more than actually aiming at them.
Same.
Okay. So I think they're going to probably go first because, yeah. So
but they didn't duck into cover.
They did not duck into cover. They
ankles didn't duck into cover.
Like one of them, yeah, like is trying to take a pot shot at Hank. So we'll roll. Oh, okay.
So you get for diplomacy, Hank.
I know, right?
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not sorry.
Don't shoot the helicopter pilot.
So that's a punctured.
That's always great.
That's a good sign.
Just decided he was our pilot.
Punctured is bad.
Yeah, punctured. Yeah, well, actually, punctured is not supposed to be as bad as like shattered, ripped, destroyed, etc.
Depends on what's getting punctured, I guess.
Yeah, so it's a 17, which is a punctured upper torso.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
The trouble is, that's where all my organs are.
That is where some of your organs are. So if you get hit,
I would say.
So the units die or the tens die divided by 5, whichever is higher. So that would be the units die. So you add wet equal to 7, if I'm understanding this correctly, I believe.
Okay.
The guy takes aim and he shoots a single shot into your chest. Yeah, it's really loud and it hurts a lot.
Yeah, I've never been shot, but I imagine. Yeah,
I assume if he's not more or less immediately dead, then he's been shot like in the shoulder or something.
Yeah, I don't think you have not been shot in the heart. You have
the lungs.
Yeah, I mean, lungs is pretty lethal. Shoulder is less lethal. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need lungs after nitrogen narcosis you had earlier.
Yep. So, yeah, but a bullet went into you and you are knocked back. Alice, no, who'd be the person the most... Like, who has weapons drawn, basically?
Yeah, I'll probably
has his weapon drawn.
Yeah, by now it would.
Yeah, because it's basically the way that initiative works is it's aware is faster than surprised, weapons drawn is faster than holstered. So 2 of the guys don't have their weapons like drawn. So if you have your weapon, like,
yeah, I think Freda would have been expecting a fight, would have gone to cover and would have kind of hefted the rifle, waiting to, and on the sound of the gunshot, having a good idea where it came from, will kind of pop up and take return fire.
Okay.
Just a single shot.
Roll, roll nerves, I believe.
That's a 23, which is, yeah, that's absolutely a hit.
Okay, so that is ripped lower torso. So what are you shooting him with?
The assault rifle. Is it an assault rifle or is it just a rifle?
I'm not sure.
It's down on my page as a rifle.
Okay, so it's probably just a single shot, kind of.
Unless it's an old, well, yeah, it depends if it's a old-fashioned kind of hunting rifle. If it's a modern gun and a rifle, it's an assault rifle.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to you which kind of, like, I think you're firing a single shot from it anyway. And that is ripping his lower torso, I think. So, yeah, so I guess you're just doing a gut shot. The man who's standing kind of, like, looks incredibly shocked, and like topples backwards. He falls over. The other two are like freaked out, and one of them dies for cover. The other one raises his gun. I think Isaac was probably next. Is that what we established?
Sure. Isaac is going to lean out from the cover of the ensuite. Something I've always wanted to say, and yeah, he's going to fire. It's nerves, right?
Yeah. Which one are you aiming at? Are you aiming at? So there's a guy who's fallen over, clutching his stomach, who was
Not
the one
him.
who shot Hank. There's the one who is diving for cover, and then there's the one who is raising his gun.
The one who's raising his gun, definitely.
Sure.
Yeah, no EMT advantage here. I know where to hit him because.
I mean, I'm not an EMT, and if I needed to kill a guy, I'd know where to aim for. So, but it doesn't help me actually hit it.
No, I came close to hitting, but I missed.
Yeah, and remember to keep track of how many bullets you're using. So you shoot a bullet, it smashes into a nearby painting. Then I think Alice.
I said I drew my gun, so I guess if you're willing to give me that before they.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which one are you shooting at?
The one that's standing.
Okay.
And that's a miss.
Okay. Like a bullet ricochets off a piece of marble, beautiful marble countertop.
He's going to be destroying something exquisite.
Yeah. Okay, the guy who was aiming, he like sort of in reaction to Isaac kind of shooting the painting behind him, he like turns his gun to Isaac. He's going to take a couple of shots and just try and like make suppressing fire. We shall see. He rolls a 2. That is not sufficient. He doesn't, I guess he doesn't actually suppress you very well. Like he shoots a couple of bullets, but they go quite wide. So you're not sure if he was actually aiming, you know, he doesn't hit you. He doesn't hit very close to home.
And I'm half behind a big.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Fredo, what do you do?
Well, I've got another sound cue for where the next guy is, and probably a good idea. So I hopefully will finish the job. So I'll pop up again and take again just a single shot at the remaining guy who isn't in cover.
There are 2 guys. There's one, yeah. So yeah, the guy who's out of cover. Yeah.
And that again is 38, which is a pass because my nerves is like 50. So this is
okay.
Actually...
So 38 is a shattered upper torso. So
mine was punctured.
Yeah. So Fredo takes a moment to like steady himself. And while the guy is kind of freaking out shooting at Isaac, Fredo takes a shot and it just lands absolutely center mass, and that guy, it's very clear that he's dead before he hits the ground. He collapses. The guy who dove behind cover like throws his gun at the ground and goes, I give up. I give up. I just want to live. Please.
Good choice.
Hank, you are you see the guy putting his hands up. Fredo says, good choice. What do you do? You've been shot in like the shoulder and it's gone through.
So I'm probably in a hell of a lot of pain.
Yeah.
I mean, how's Gutshot doing? I mean, is he immediately dead, or is he?
He is
writhing
not
on the floor in
dead.
agony?
Gutshot is writhing on the floor, and he's sort of scrabbling for his gun.
Oh, I'm gonna go up to him then and fucking kick the gun away from him.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So. Yeah, I think it's fine. He didn't have a plausible chance of actually like picking up the gun, so you kind of kick it away from him and you just like smack him in the face, or
I'll smack him in the face. I try to be fucking nice to him and avoid this whole thing.
Yeah, he stops sort of struggling and he's like,
Are we Sorry, are we still in combat rounds?
No. This is like unless like this guy is too vulnerable to fight back. The gut shot, the guy who surrendered appears like has thrown down his gun. He is currently at your mercy. The guy who was like sort of reaching for the weapon was doing so weakly. Yeah, so I guess what do you want to do about this situation? Like, are you trying to like tie the guy up or like incapacitate him or whatever? He's kind of going,
the guy who's
yeah.
Isaac's probably not going to pay much attention to him. He's going to take a couple of steps over to the guy who's gut shot, kneel down, and plant his knife in his neck.
Okay, fair enough. He was like going, please, fuck, and then he just gets.
He's dead.
He's just dead.
Isaac knows he's dead. This is both caution because he was still reaching for his gun, and also actually, he's like once the adrenaline wears off, he's going to be in excruciating pain for minutes or hours, and then he's going to die. So Isaac is just going to end it.
What about the adrenaline Hank's living off right now, guys?
Yeah. The
Good point. Good point. Isaac is going to go over to Hank.
Yeah.
Hank was near that guy anyway. After
you see, Matt, Isaac is actually a horse doctor.
Yeah. The other guy,
you're just fit for glue now, Hank.
Absolutely.
Thanks
the other guy,
much.
on seeing Isaac like stab his friend in the neck, just kill him. He like goes wide-eyed and pale and very, very quiet. And he sort of shrinks, and he's like, yeah, he's not going to move.
If Isaac sees this, he's going to pull the knife out, still covered in blood, and kind of gently point it at him and say, hide.
The guy runs away. I
love to imagine that at that point Alice was walking towards him and she was just like, but empty your pocket of bullets. God damn it, Isaac.
Yeah, the gun will have bullets in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might have had more.
Sure.
I'll go and pick up the gun. And
you can catch him and do what you want. Like Isaac's reaction.
He's gone. It's fine.
Sure.
Okay.
I have a rifle and some bullets. Yay.
Yep. Can you roll a d6 to determine how many bullets?
I can try and find a d6, yes.
I will roll a d6 for you if you do not have one. 5 is how many bullets you have.
Bullets.
Okay. You guys continue upwards relatively. Like at this point, you don't really see any members of the fire hose gang. As far as you can see, you continue up through the shattered remains of this massive tower. You continue past the penthouses. You don't go into the penthouse, which had the or you don't actually go immediately past the guy who had been given mercy so many times ago.
I stay like away from that whole wall with that sniper, by the way. Just that whole side of the tower.
Yep. You try and maintain a great distance from that side of the tower. You make it to the hangar, right at the top. This is where you have been promised there is a helicopter. There is like a gate that blocks your way that has a padlock on it. What do you do?
Oh no, a padlock. I mean, I've still got a wrench. I mean, Hank's not in a position to try and
we better turn around.
break a padlock with anything, but
that's it. We're done.
Yeah, let's give up now. It's padlock.
Alice says this.
Fredo has a crowbar. Please stand aside.
There we go.
Everything else now. This padlock. Our last great foe.
The absolute pinnacle of Lustrum Tower. The padlock shoots you in the face. No. Yeah. So you break your way through. Were you using a wrench to do this?
No, we're using the crowbar.
The crowbar. Okay, sorry. Yes, you can break the padlock, and it doesn't make too much noise. You make your way through like kind of an initial. There's like a kind of fenced area. So there's an area that is like still building, and then there's a fenced area, and then there is in the center the helicopter. It is on a helipad, open to the sky. You hear like a rolling grumble of thunder, and you see the flash first. Obviously, it lights up the thing, and yeah, the weather is getting pretty bad. So, which of you is, or so? What are you doing?
Look at Hank in his nitrogen narcosis, shot in the shoulder state, and look at the helicopter that he's never flown before and never seen in his life, and the thunderstorm, and turn to Hank and go, "Are you all right to fly this, Hank?"
There's only one way off this tower, unless you want to jump.
There's 2 ways off this tower, but I'll take that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we go and do what we can in a helicopter. Stop switches. I don't know. I've never been in a helicopter. I don't know how they work. This is Jack, not Hank. Hank's an expert.
Oh, okay.
Hank's a master, but Hank says, "I don't know how these work."
The final twist is that Jack's like, no, fuck you guys. I'm not a pilot.
And the final twist would be we accidentally left the key down the boat or something.
I just realized we've got a load of equipment on the boat.
It's
tied up.
I picked up all my stuff, but yeah, we left the dry suits and stuff down there.
Yeah, it's tied up. No one knows it's there. We could go get
We've got a helicopter.
Sure.
We can buy a new boat with that. It's fine. We'll swap it.
So Hank is the main person sort of going into the helicopter, trying to work out how he's going to get it to take off. Alice, what are you doing?
I will probably just try and assist Hank in any way I can, if that's not what.
So you're going to be inside the helicopter helping Hank.
Is there something I need to make sure is functioning, or do set a fuel pump going, or something like that? Basically, for Hank.
Isaac, what are you doing while Hank is sort of trying to like get things started, work out,
I think Isaac is going to take a position. Is it like, what kind of helicopter is it? Is it like an old Vietnam military style one? Is it like a news helicopter?
It is like a ridiculously luxury helicopter. It is something that was used probably for like taking very rich people from place to place.
So like the side will have a slidey door sort of thing.
Yeah,
right?
it's
okay.
Yeah,
Isaac in that case is going to take up a position, slide the door, take up a position in the back. Like, he's not an expert marksman, but he kind of knows little bits. So he's going to just drop to one knee and just aim his gun at where we came from.
Sure.
And like, just in case the fire hose gang in their entirety pour out like zombies swarming our extraction point,
And Fredo, what are you doing while he's trying to get things started?
Fredo is going to sling the rifle and take out the revolver, and kind of in the 2-hand clasp that makes it look like he may have been quite familiar with firearms in a past life, is going to just start kind of moving around the room to make sure there's nothing unexpected and just case the joint.
Okay. So it will be Isaac and Fredo who who see there are like a couple of entrances to this area. There's the one that you came in, and then there's another one. Out of the one that you didn't come through, like you see a door kind of thud and then break open. And some people who are sort of dressed like you, maybe, burst through the door. I think Isaac is probably the most likely to get the first reaction because he was prepared.
Okay. Isaac is going to hope, because this looked like a general riot downstairs, right? So this is probably another group of scavengers taking advantage of it, or it's members of the rioters who are maybe following up on a rumor or just coming up as high in the hotel, in the tower as they can, right? He's going to hope to confuse them, even if only briefly. He's not going to lower his rifle. He's going to wait and see if they are like coming out as aggressively or draw their own guns. But he's going to shout, "Don't worry, we got it. You can go back." Hoping against hope.
Yeah.
That they're part of a large enough group that they might not immediately recognize us. But if they're like, fuck that, and start drawing guns, he's just going to start firing.
Okay. One of them goes, "Oh yeah, no worries, no worries," and he starts like sidling, like moving round the room, trying to spread out from where his other people were.
Like with his eyes on me.
Yeah, with his eyes on you.
Isaac is opening fire.
Okay, Isaac is opening fire. All right.
That's not flashing.
Yeah. Full Danny DeVito.
Yeah. Hank, I just started blasting. Hank, can you give me a nerves roll for like staying cool under pressure? Unless you're joining Isaac and trying to like fend people off, I assume are you trying to like get the helicopter off the ground as soon as possible, or are you trying to?
Yeah, I mean, let's get the helicopter off the ground. They can't surround us if we're in the air.
Okay, fair point. Yep. So, okay, I want
Thank goodness bullets don't fly.
Yeah, a nerves roll from Isaac and a nerves roll from Hank. And then I also I'm going to want what Fredo and Alice are doing. I think Fredo gets to go before the people. Alice, you'll be going after the people.
So my nerves is 43. I just rolled 43.
Okay. So that is destroyed lower torso.
Yeah. Man, the torsos are really taking a beating in this.
Yeah. I mean, I think if your lower torso is destroyed, I guess you used...
yeah.
Did you...
Yeah,
I guess you
dead.
maybe fired multiple bullets into it, or was it just the one?
I don't know. That feels like you're penalizing my currency for rolling well.
Okay. All right.
Really
with a single bullet, you can.
You just blew up his
hole
pelvis.
out of the back.
Okay,
If
yeah.
you hit
You
someone's
use the
pelvis, then
underslung
they're
grenade
dead.
launcher, but that's still only one bullet.
If you hit someone's
Okay.
pelvis with a bullet, they're dead nearly immediately. They'll bleed out.
Unless you want to give me that for free without taking any of my bullets away. That's
Okay,
fine
I
too.
will not. I will be a kind GM. I will not take extra bullets for thematic effect.
Even-handed GM. Sure.
And you shoot him in the pelvis, and his pelvis, like, he starts bleeding like crazy. And yeah, the other guys immediately open fire. One of them just shoots, like, hits the helicopter, and the other one is like, fucking be careful, that's what we're here for. Yeah. And
How we know?
Fredo, what are you doing?
Fredo is probably not on the helicopter. It was doing a circuit, so we'll kind of get near some cover, drop to one knee, and kind of with the revolver take a very careful return fire shot against one of the other people.
Sure. Roll your nerves. Meanwhile, Hank, what was your nerves, by the way?
I have 42 in nerves, and I got a 26. So,
Oh, very good.
which is above my wet. My wet is well high, not
What
that
is your
high.
wet at this point?
21.
Impressive.
I'm very
impressive.
soggy.
My nerves
Yeah.
are good, but unfortunately they're not 69 good, so I missed.
Okay, so yeah, you shot wide. Hank, you are holding it together. The wound in your shoulder is like bleeding pretty badly. But you are like gripping the controls and like trying to shake off the confusion, and you seem to be like making further progress. Alice, what are you doing?
The top priority seems to be getting the helicopter in the air. So if I'm being useful in what I'm doing to assist Hank, if I can in any way speed us getting off the ground, as in as a co-pilot seat that I can do something in, I will do that. If there's nothing that I'm usefully doing anymore, Hank just needs to fly, then I will shoot. I will get ready to shoot, because I probably can't get my gun out and shoot now.
Okay, so which option are you going for? What are you...
Top priority, getting the helicopter off the ground, if I'm being helpful.
Okay, so you're sort of, are you looking around for like a manual or something, or?
Yeah, I guess I'm making sure, like,
I imagine Hank sort of, if you need someone, to reach out, direct him.
Like, switch that over. Exactly, yeah. So I'm just working to speed that up.
Okay, can I get a brains roll from you to see how well you do that?
Well, 20. That's a pass.
Okay, yeah. So you are pretty effective at like locating exactly where things are. One of the guys is going to shoulder his rifle and take a shot. 23. That is a hit, and he's aiming at Alice. So
I was like the least important person. There's two people shooting at them. Then there's the helicopter pilot, and they shoot at me.
I'm
so mad.
That's a ripped lower torso.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. So he takes like a pretty precise shot, and it tears through your abdomen. I think that sort of thing. You kind of stumble backwards and fall out of the helicopter.
Oh, so I couldn't fall into the helicopter as well.
Yeah, unfortunately not. There is technically an initiative order, and unfortunately I have not arranged all of these things. I believe it was Isaac, Fredo, Hank, Alice, right? So it would now be Isaac again. What do you do?
Plus wet for that, by the way. Yeah, sorry.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Units die, or 10's die divided by 5. So that was 10's die divided by 5 is 20, divided by 5 is 4. Yeah, so it's 4.
Right. So I'm on 20 wet. Cool. Sorry.
How
4 wet.
Close is Alice to the helicopter?
Really close.
I'm guessing she fell out of the sort of passenger door.
Fell out of the door. Sort of.
Okay. How many of them are they, and how many of them have drawn firearms?
So there was the one that was shot, then there was the one that shot Alice, and now, coming out of the doorway, there was one additional person, and who was sort of shouting, and then maybe, you get the impression that there's somebody still in the corridor. Okay. So... it's a relatively small squad, so that's 4.
And Hank is trying to get us off the ground.
Yep.
And sorry, remind me where Fredo is again.
Fredo is taking a knee, probably next to you. I would imagine.
Okay, I'm not in the helicopter. I am not in the helicopter.
Okay, sorry.
Very clear about that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, on the assumption that Fredo, on his way to the helicopter, can pull Alice into the helicopter, Isaac is going to take another shot rather than pull Alice in.
Okay.
And that also will make it safer for Fredo to do it, right? That's his logic. And he's
covering fire.
If not logical. Yeah. So he's going to fire at the person who has a gun out.
And is your intent mainly to kill, or to I guess you're trying to kill this guy, as opposed to you're trying to cover defilade or whatever.
Yeah. I don't see the advantage in just he's
spraying and praying.
Yeah. No, nothing like that.
You're taking a precise shot at the guy,
and he hits with a 40.
Okay, 40. So that's destroyed head. I believe.
Well, that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Good shot.
Yeah. So. You just take a headshot at this guy.
Right between the eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. he falls backwards and hits his head on the concrete. Yeah.
Ow.
I love your
Ooh, that'll
reaction.
be sore.
That'll be sore in the morning.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a headache at the end of this.
Was that the guy who shot me?
What?
Yeah.
Was that the guy who shot me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Good job. I just wanted to know.
I like to think that Alice says it exactly like that. Yeah, good job. Yeah. Good job.
Yeah,
He lies on the tarmac, like, holding it.
Yeah,
Good job.
good job.
Torso.
Ah! Ah!
Trying to hold her own guts in. Good job.
Okay, Fredo. The rain is intensifying. Sort of. Yeah, it's getting pretty, like, even this short distance, it's starting to, like, really get quite hard to see clearly. What are you doing?
I'm sure they'll be able to see clearly when it's their fucking turn. I mean, is there even any signs of life from the helicopter yet? Is it spinning up, or is it just kind of sat there still in pre-check?
Hank has managed to, like, all the lights are on. The blades are, like, starting to slowly spin.
Okay, so Fredo's kind of, again, really quite unnervingly calmly, Fredo's just going to kind of get back to his feet again with the gun leveled and just kind of cross step towards the helicopter, but he's still going to take a shot.
Okay, so your priority is shooting rather than picking up Alice.
Well, there's more than, like, the helicopter. If the helicopter's only just starting to spin its rotors, there's still a good 5 minutes before it leaves the ground. So yep. I have time to take a shot.
Yep. Okay, take your shot.
That is, is it though? Yes, my wet is 12.
Okay. So yeah, you make the shot. That's punctured legs. So you shoot one of the guy who just came through the door, I assume. You shoot that guy in the legs. And yeah, he like falls over, but is actually still functional. Somebody else shouts, Marcus! And Jack.
Marcus, you monster.
Yeah, Hank, I want you to make a brains roll, please.
That's a failure.
Okay. You think you're on the right track for getting the thing started. Like the blades are spinning, things are getting faster. You're like, yeah, this'll work out. But yeah, let's just say that. Let's just say that's the situation. Everything's going swimmingly. Alice, what do you do?
It's not leading at all. Yeah, let's say you think things are going well.
Yeah.
As you start this,
I carry on doing what I'm doing then.
Yeah. I mean, failure on a brains roll. You didn't think of the thing.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything much I can do? I feel like I'm kind of just trying to hold my guts in at this point and hold onto the side of the helicopter. I probably can't pull myself back up.
So you're going to try and get back in?
Yeah, if I can. Do I make like a guts roll to try and pull myself, or lungs roll?
Yeah, I think that would be a nerves, like a nerves roll, or
a nerves roll. Okay, I'll do a nerves.
So just like grit your teeth.
Yeah, no, I ain't doing that.
Okay, your hand is like slippery with your own blood and kind of like slips off the side, like the edge of the helicopter. All right, it's starting to spin up. There's one guy remaining. Isaac, what do you do? Are you still trying to take them out?
Yeah, absolutely. If Fredo is still outside the helicopter and could still pick Alice up on the way in, the guys there, have they drawn a firearm?
Yes, he's holding a pistol.
And he's gonna try and shoot him. Try and go 3 for 3. Get another horribly destroyed body part.
Apparently
that's definitely not a hit.
Okay. Yeah, the wind and the rain is getting so much that it's actually really hard to keep track of targets, and yeah, your shot goes wide. The helicopter starts to like move a little bit. This might be because the blades are spinning fast enough, might be actually because of the wind. It's getting like, yeah, it's really, really like gale force almost. It's getting really fast.
Perfect helicopter flying conditions, right?
Yeah. Fredo, what do you do?
I know that the minute I don't take a shot, that guy's going to kill me or someone else. Like, the only option is violence here, because as much as the narrative pressure of us is it's wet and it's dark and it's hard to see, that's not what the dice are doing. So,
okay. Bear in mind, the helicopter
has
started to move a little bit. Like, started to.
Do you know what? Do you know what? You're right, and the priority is to get off the ground. So Fredo's just kind of going to jump straight onto the helicopter without doing. No, Fredo's going to bundle Alice into the helicopter.
Okay, I want a lungs roll.
Use me as a stepping ladder to get up. You know.
Oh, that's below my wet.
No.
Okay, you success. Oh no, you fail to get Alice up. Like, she's yeah, it's just hard to get to her, and yeah, somebody like is shooting at you right now, which is kind of problematic. In fact, I should probably roll for the guy with the pistol.
I don't think you need to.
Okay.
You didn't need to do that, yeah. You didn't need to do that.
Yeah, I'm not actually. This guy was just with a pistol.
You'd give him some wet for the fact all of his companions have been killed.
Yeah, he shoots. He shoots wide. You hear like a loud
not wide.
Ding. Yeah, a loud ding into the probably the back of the helicopter. It's probably fine.
Oh, there's nothing important there.
Yeah.
With a quick glance out, is there a big stream of like yellowish fluid like jetting out into the?
Oh, it's definitely not.
Yeah, but
jetting.
Hank's just really scared. That's why that is.
Yeah, Hank is just really scared. Okay, the helicopter is now starting to take off. Isaac, what do you do? Well, actually, I think it's yeah. Isaac, what do you do?
Sorry. Is it? Okay. Right, they're struggling to get. I'm going to lean down and help to get Fredo and Alice on board because we're taking off.
Yeah. Okay, I think you can manage to get Alice on board, and now it's and Fredo kind of pushes Alice up successfully. Fredo is not yet on board. The helicopter is moving. Hank, you are managing to keep it relatively steady in this crazy wind, although it is starting to like whip back and forth and kind of be quite unstable. Fredo, can you please roll nerves for me? That looks like a fail.
That's not a good number.
Okay, like the helicopter like sways and slams into Fredo. Basically, as a result of the wind, it like blows the lower half. Fredo is knocked prone. Hank, can I get a nerves roll or a brains roll, depending on whether you're like?
I mean, either of them have failed. So
okay,
you know.
The helicopter like is veering scarily close to the edges of the building that like are jutting out. Alice, what do you do?
Bleed out.
I really don't think there's anything I can do other than maybe shoot my gun wildly in the direction of the people who are in there, which probably isn't going to do much good. So I don't even think I'll do that. I'm just bleeding out on the floor. That's what
you're trying to not bleed out on the floor. Isaac, what are you up to?
I mean, at this stage, I think we just need to take off as fast as possible. Can I reach down and help Fredo up?
Yes.
Okay.
So, but it's going to be a lungs roll, I think, or a nerve.
Okay.
or maybe actually a nerves roll because it's like more about timing.
Can I keep the lungs option?
Okay, go for the lungs roll. If the method with which you're doing it is just like sheer strength of like,
yeah, I'm just trying to yank him in.
Yeah.
No.
3 fails for Fredo.
Okay.
I mean, all
Fredo?
of us have got stats that are like less than 50% chance of doing anything.
Yeah. Fredo, the helicopter is like it is not quite out of, you know, it's still hovering at roughly head-to-head height. Hank is just about managing to keep it like not blowing off the building. What are you doing? And actually, also, if it comes to it, I would like to know if Hank will leave without Fredo.
I mean, if we don't, I guess we're all going to end up dying. Like, if we end up crashing the helicopter.
Is there an option of crashing? You know, can he land again now, or is it too dangerous to land again?
Land again, yeah.
Yeah, so you could try and go down again.
I mean, yeah.
So whatever happens here, I'm rolling lungs.
Go for it.
Do you know what? Fredo's going to wave you off.
Oh.
Okay, so Fredo.
What? It's literally like there. It's within reach.
I mean, there's also a question of whether Hank's paying
it's also,
attention to
bear in
Fredo.
mind, it is also like blowing all over the place. So it's like extremely unstable, and it does actually look like it's currently heading for like a barrier where it will crash.
Also, Hank probably can't see Fredo. Like,
anyway.
So here's the logic. Fredo's got 2 guns and a lot of bullets and knows where a boat is. The helicopter has already taken off. Delaying the helicopter further is putting everyone at risk. So Fredo's just going to is going to look at Isaac and kind of wave him away, and then is going to take a shot at the last assailant.
Okay.
Stepping away from the helicopter.
Okay. So Isaac, you see this, and what do you do? And also, make a roll.
Probably wait to see what Fredo finishes his turn with.
Fredo's going to drop the revolver. It has 1 bullet left, but that's cost of doing business. And just shoulder the rifle this time.
Okay.
And that is a hit on a 14.
Okay.
If I didn't use that good roll to jump on the helicopter.
Yeah, the thing is, like, this is like that's nerves. If I try and get on the helicopter, it's basically almost guaranteed failure every roll.
Yep. Okay, so you successfully keep having to flick back to the damage rolls. Where are the... Yeah, so that what was that? What was the roll exactly? A 14?
Yeah, it was a 14.
Okay, so yeah, that's a punctured lower torso. So he gets shot in the torso. He's not quite down. Hank, Isaac, do you communicate to Hank that Fredo's like indicating you guys off? The helicopter is swaying wildly back and forth.
Yeah, Isaac is not going to communicate that Fredo. He's not going to do any contextual thing. He's just going to shout, "Go!"
Okay. Hank is going to go.
Hank is going to go.
He
did, for all he knows, everyone's in the back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hank, you take off. You clip the side of Lustrum Tower, like one of these like antennas, but somehow like you regain the control of the helicopter, and leaking like engine oil, you get the helicopter away from the building. Alice, as you're sort of like fading in and out of consciousness, the last thing you see is Fredo like shouldering his rifle and heading towards the door where the people are emerging from.
I really thought you were going to say the last thing I see is Isaac approaching me with a blade at my neck.
Oh, no,
And-
let's not be Isaac's not a dickhead. He'd be approaching you with a morphine needle.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess like is Isaac just sort of standing there staring back at the Lustrum Tower? What's Isaac doing?
No, that's done.
Okay.
Whatever Fredo has decided to do, his fate is in his hands.
Helping
now.
me.
Isaac is kneeling next to Alice and attempting to keep her alive until we reach our scavenging group.
And on that note, I think that is the end of the Big Wet. Thank you for playing. If anyone has any questions or comments, please leave them in the chat. We are happy to hear from you and mock you mercilessly. We are a pro-bullying channel. That's what we're all about.
We are. Oh my god.
No, we're actually lovely and friendly people, and we would love it if you come along to our Discord and say hi and suggest systems and talk to us about nerdy TTRPG stuff.
See you folks. Dash. Thanks, Pierre.
Yes,
Bye.
farewell. That was the last we ever saw of Alice as she faded off into unconsciousness.
God, you can't. Don't kill people after you finish this session.
As Isaac thought, well, we need to conserve fuel and nudged her body off the edge of it. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, usual ending promo stuff, folks. As Pierre said, we have a Discord. The link for it is below. Come check it out and join us. If you check more of the links below, there's Twitch, there's YouTube. We're on both those channels in the configuration you might expect. There's also our Patreon. There's merch store. There's all social media and lovely stuff. Check those out. As for what we do normally, we stream 3 times a week. At the moment, there's Warhammer on Mondays. There's currently Blade Runner on Wednesdays, which just started. And Thursdays alternates between Wicked Ones and nothing now. But something will be coming along to fill the slot sooner or later. We've also been running some lovely streams recently, looking at Kickstarter campaigns, specifically the Zine Quest through the month of February. And there's partially a reason we're doing that, which is that we ourselves are running a Zine Quest campaign. There is a link right up at the top of the chat for that, or you can search Kickstarter for the Soft TTRPG for a lovely Troika setting zine, which we would be honored if you would even read the page, let alone choose to back it. Yeah. Did we get any? Is there any? No, we covered all that stuff last night. So now it's just the old comments and questions. So if I pop them up, Pierre, do you want to read them out and stuff?
Absolutely. So yeah, relating to what you were just mentioning, 250% funded, I think. Math, ugh.
I can confirm that is correct.
In fairness, I think the Kickstarter goal was like £7. So I mean,
it certainly was not.
No.
It was £100. It was £100.
People like
no
what we do.
Small amount of money.
You guys, so get on that train quick, because we'll run out of virtual paper to send you.
Yeah, basically, what can we tell you that will get you in with FOMO? Because we'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, all the cool kids are doing it, so.
Yep.
So why are we doing it?
So John was saying, but if you lost your hand, you could replace it with the grappling hook. Well, yes. Alas, that opportunity has sailed, swum away with the shark. In fact, that shark that Chris is so affectionately holding.
It's actually stuck to him with the grappling hook. That's the trouble.
I just got that. I just got the shark. Chris just puts all kinds of plushies on him anyway. I just got the shark.
They're always thematic. They're always exactly the perfect plushie for the moment. No, you're just missing the subtext of the.
I mean, unless like 3 episodes of Simbarum were about a cat, which is also a bottle of milk, which is also strawberry flavored. Like I don't know, they're not.
I'll just throw in the next arc, won't you?
Classic
meows
foreshadowing.
of Davokar.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep, second irradiated world. Indeed, you can never get enough irradiation. We didn't really deal with too much irradiation because this wasn't lasting that long, but I think you guys probably need some medical treatment for all of that.
We've got the magic tablet.
Covering.
We established this last session.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Literally all of them are placebos.
We've got another banger comment from 42.
The helicopter is a lie. Yeah, I mean, I should have just had the twist of like Rosaria standing there being like, you thought there was a helicopter, now go back down and back up the tower, and then there will be a helicopter here, magical twist ending.
Yeah. And another one?
I mean, I don't think that's
still could have happened.
Twist. Yeah.
He just got very lucky. Yeah. The helicopters are actually secretly very easy to fly.
Yeah.
They won't tell you this, but they are. So
famously,
very lucky.
It's basically
also they're also absolutely fine during storms and heavy weather.
After being shot at as well.
Yep.
Yeah. I think this Azimuth Steve comment came in from me just randomly getting really good with the gun at the end. You hit that special spot that makes people explode.
Is that a Hot Fuzz reference?
No, that was the destroyed torso or destroyed pelvis or whatever it was somehow with a single rifle bullet.
Yep.
Yeah. And I like this one as well from Steve, which is presumably midway through that dramatic scene, a suggested line of dialogue for Hank. I've got the CD player working.
Oh man, he says, "Leaving Fredo behind." Well, yes, I think that's it for all of the comments and questions. It has been a pleasure. Thank you for playing and watching and consuming.
And a round of golf clap applause for Pierre's first series on the channel, please.
Yeah, I clap myself. Well, it is time to say goodbye.
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 Bye.